So first off, the topic that's on everyone's mind at the moment, coronavirus. So the effect coronavirus. We know the effect it's having on people in general with health and stuff, but we're going to talk about the effect it's having on entertainment, sport, etc. So it has it's going to have a lasting effect as well on a lot of things. We'll start with sport, I guess, because that's one of the main things people enjoy. So I'm going to put this out there. So the sports that you guys enjoy, has that been affected? Like, what sports do you guys watch mostly that, and what effect has it had on some of those sports?
Yeah, as I watch cricket, cricket's been totally cancelled. They've cancelled everything from the IPL, from all the cricketing that's supposed to be going on. But though I've heard they're supposed to play Australia versus England in England, and they're talking like that's going to still happen. So that's supposed to happen in June. So I'm not really sure what they're doing there.
But there was another tournament that was starting called the 100. Did you guys hear about that? The 100 series?
Yeah, it was basically British IPL.
Oh.
Yeah. And there's no word on what's happening there. Like, even with contracts, contracts are being renegotiated as we speak. Just because they're not going to be playing cricket for a while.
Yeah,
I mean, not just cricket, like other sports we're talking about. Locally here in Australia, we've got the rugby league and we've got the AFL.
Have the crowds really affected? Has this affected the crowds for NRL? I'm not sure.
Oh, don't blow there by
seems like a normal
RetroJooni.
crowd. It seems like a normal Sunday crowd, man. The NRL.
I think miraculously they haven't been affected by the virus. But
That's brutal.
Yeah, I don't know.
that's just a personal thing.
That's why the NRL was adamant. We're like, oh, nothing's going to affect us. We're going on. And
then next minute, oh no, sorry, we can't.
Well, the NBA,
so initially,
the NBA's been shut down, but I mean, we're no stranger to lockouts and lockdowns and whatnot. But
Yeah.
sucks not having NBA.
Yeah, well, the NBA was the first sport that was shut down out of all of them.
One of
It
the
really
first
started
athletes.
a domino effect, didn't it? Yeah, it really started a domino effect on every sport in the world and every event in the world. When the NBA shut down, it became really serious, and every other sort of sport and event was basically cancelled since then.
Yeah.
yeah. So with NRL and AFL, initially they did start the seasons with no crowds, but after one round they pretty much had to stop, and that was pretty much it. Did I hear a bark?
Yes, that is. Oh, that was Joey.
Oh no, the Corona dog!
Oh, the
Oh
no.
You're letting the Corona in!
The credits everywhere now.
So Sumeet's obviously immune to that. He's got some
immunity.
I am legend immunity.
Yeah. Finding the cure right here in this lab.
I guess the long-term effect of this pandemic on teams and clubs, a lot of clubs are going to go bankrupt.
Yeah, that's what I was hearing actually. NRL clubs, AFL clubs.
Even some A-League clubs as well.
I've heard if the English Premier League is cancelled, there's a few clubs there would be
A-League clubs like
David.
A-League clubs. A-League clubs were very just literally just surviving. They didn't really have much in terms of revenue coming in, so this just I think completely destroyed them anyway.
The depressed smile from David says it all.
Yes, Liverpool top of the league, one of the best seasons I've ever had.
Yeah, Liver.
So, I mean, they work in the millions of billions of pounds, right? The English Premier League clubs.
Yeah.
In the AFL, they're saying that pretty much as it stands, if the season doesn't go ahead, really only 4 teams will be able to support themselves in the future from if the season doesn't go ahead from next year onwards.
Which 4 teams?
So they had, I think it was Collingwood, West Coast, the Hawks, and another team. I can't remember which one, but a lot of teams would struggle financially without their members and without crowds.
That's the thing that's the thing that's come out of this is that a lot of the revenue is from TV. A lot of the TV deals was the big revenue, and that trickled down to the clubs. But now that the fact there's no matches, nothing on TV now with sport, it's going to affect the money for this year at least.
And the flow-on effect, like, you know what I mean? Like, players they're renegotiating their contracts, obviously. They're going to have to take a pay cut at the moment. And trade period comes up after that. Like, what's going to happen with trade period? No one knows. You know, and the AFL is saying that it can start its season later and delay it a bit. But then that's going to trickle into the T20 World Cup, which is due to start here in November as well.
Oh shit! Totally forgot about that. That's right. Hey.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it's going to clash there. So.
What I'm hearing about coronavirus is that it might be done by December. Everything might start opening up again in December, but that's just if everything goes okay. I reckon it'll take probably January, February next year. So we could be in this for a while.
Doing a lot of these podcasts.
That's what. Yeah.
Sorry, Daniel?
No, I was just saying that's what all health experts are saying. Like, we're only just seeing the tip of the iceberg when it comes to COVID-19. So we got a long way to go.
Sorry, Daniel. There's a flashing light above your head.
It's a fan.
Oh my god, he's going to heaven. He's going to heaven. Look at him.
I keep moving my head back and forth, so that's why.
No, because his room is that his light is right underneath his fan, so that's why he keeps happening. I was checking the light.
Exactly.
Yes.
Is there any sports that you guys watch that has been affected by
EPL?
EPL, NBA. Yeah.
I was looking forward to the Olympics as well.
Oh yeah,
The Olympics have been moved.
Yeah.
That's
right.
I mean, Olympics, as you all know, it takes a lot of money to organize that event.
Yeah.
And I mean, they haven't cancelled it; they pushed it back. But
they pushed it back to 2021. They already said. That's it. Said
It took them a while to do that as well, man. Everything else got cancelled.
A few music festivals
they were still
as well.
hanging on.
Yeah, they were still trying to hold out, but then eventually they were like, "Oh no, we can't do it."
Yeah. Well, you know, we'll just sort of segue into movies now. The funny thing is, Wonder Woman has an August date or something, doesn't it?
yeah, I don't think they've moved that.
Yeah,
they pushed that movie back quite a bit as well.
yeah, they pushed it back.
Yeah. And even
That
Black Widow has a date in September.
Yeah, even
There was another movie.
even the new Fast and Furious movie. When does that come? That's also been
It's next
pushed
year.
back.
Yeah.
Thank God.
But-
It's not getting.
Well, the interesting thing is they're starting to give release dates now for them. When they just said they were delaying them indefinitely, but now they're starting to give release dates for them. So they must know something that we don't know. But if we saw the death toll and the cases in the US, it's just exploded over there. So I don't know how they can release a movie so soon. I'm guessing it's going to get delayed again.
I think they have to give a release date, but then they have to, because the same thing with just going back to sport here. The what's it name? The boss of the AFL has said that they're looking at a start date of around June to restart the season, even though it's unlikely, but they have to give some sort of start date because they're preparing a 17-game season. They have to give a start date, which they're hopeful for. But in saying that, he did state that they are looking that depending on government advice as well, which is going to be the same for movies. I think they'll give a release date depending on advice on the government on whether cinemas will be open or not. That's when they may have to shift it forward again. So it's like a placeholder date, really. Like they have to give a date. Yeah.
Didn't Black Widow get pushed back as well? I'm pretty sure that got pushed back a bit.
Yeah, I was saying Black Widow got a date of I think it's September or November. It got a new release date today. They announced it.
Okay.
But hey David.
Okay, David's gone upside down. Okay, that's all right. You can stay like that if you feel more comfortable, David.
No, he's in the upside down.
He's
He's Spider-Man.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly.
I get it.
He's Stranger Things.
That was your segue into Stranger Things, right?
Yeah, Stranger Things.
Oh man.
So has that been delayed? Because
Yeah,
that finished shooting, didn't it?
Yeah, back to next year.
Yeah,
No,
it's been
I thought
delayed,
I thought it.
unfortunately.
Yeah, it was shooting, and then they stopped the shooting.
Yeah,
Same thing with
Well-
Batman. That was shooting, and they stopped it as well.
Jurassic World.
Well, with Stranger Things, sorry, I heard that they initially had a storyline where they were going to do a time jump in the storyline. So, but it didn't work out because, they'd have to wait a few years and, they really didn't really want to do it with makeup because it wouldn't look, authentic.
Yeah.
But now they have time. They may actually still do the time jump. So that'll be interesting.
Maybe.
So you're talking about Jurassic Park?
Oh yeah, Jurassic. The new one. Yeah.
Jurassic World.
Is that still going to come out next year? I don't even know. Because they've stopped shooting.
Probably not. Yeah, they
No,
stopped
they stopped
shooting.
shooting
So,
now.
yeah, that was shooting at the moment.
That's the final movie. I mean, David is looking forward to that, I'm sure, as much as I am.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a resident paleontologist for Dork Entertainment. I don't know why we need a paleontologist, but we have one. So
We just need
I'm
one.
looking forward to Milan.
Oh my god.
yay, Muller.
Oh my god.
Just a
don't know how-
theoretical.
I don't know how,
Just to put a theoretical out there, Junie. If movies like Mulan, like if the release date passes and if stuff happens where like if this thing doesn't sort of subside, they might have to release it online, like on Disney Plus or something, right?
I mean, look at Artemis Fowl. That got cancelled. Now it's only releasing on Disney Plus.
Oh,
Which one
really?
is that?
Yeah, Artemis Fowl. Artemis Fowl. I don't know how to say it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, there's been a few movies like this. Sony's Bloodshot released in cinemas for like a week, but now they've pushed it to like a pay-per-view type thing, I think.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's on video on demand. So
I think Onwards is Disney's Onwards is on Disney Plus as well now. So we may see a few more of those sort of things. Like
I think
this is the time where Netflix, would be flourishing.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's like you spend all this money, you have a budget for a film. How long can you hold on to it without trying to sort of recuperate what you've spent?
Some of the
How long do you hold
Yeah.
on?
And you think about the productions where they've had to book places, book sets, where they pretty much book everything in advance. To have to cancel all that, I don't think they're going to get a refund. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the money lost. down the drain.
So even like with the MCU with Black Widow, so Black Widow apparently has moved to the Eternals date. So everything has been pushed back by in the MCU. So Eternals has now got, I think, the date in February, and then like whatever was in February is now in like May. So I think they're all just pushed back.
That sucks.
More sort of release date. Yeah.
Does it suck?
It sucks. That means we're going to have to wait
Does
even
it
longer
suck?
for an X-Men movie.
Man, as far as I'm concerned, Endgame's the last one. That's.
Oh, ooh, this is a good segue into the next topic.
Endgame is done. That's it.
Hey,
Oh, actually,
All right.
So Black Widow is releasing on November 6th. That's what it's saying.
Yeah. So I'm just
Yes,
reading
that's
reading
right,
some
yeah.
comments made by the co-founder of DreamWorks Animation, Jeffrey Katzenberg. He's saying the movie industry is ready to embrace like the home viewing and streaming and whatnot. So actually, Mulan has a release date of July 24th. Black Widow in November 6th. Artemis
Really?
Fowl is debuting on Disney Plus. It was scheduled for a theatrical release in May. But
So, well, you know what? They might stick with the July release date because, according to statistics released by China, because China's going to be a big market for that movie, the numbers are going down in China, right?
Yes, but China is also bullshitting their numbers as well. It's
Well, we
apparently
don't know
40 times. It's apparently 40 times more larger than what they're reporting. So they're bullshitting the numbers.
Well, we don't know yet. It could be bullshitting. We don't know.
Could be
anything.
It's China.
Could be.
They're definitely bullshitting.
But yeah, look, most likely, I think Mulan will have to push back the day.
yeah.
At the moment in Australia, because Australia's in lockdown at the moment for 90 days, they're saying in New South Wales, which I think it's end of June or July it's going to finish? Or be reassessed?
I expect it. I expect it to go longer than that.
It's going to go way longer. Yeah.
October, November
I mean,
is what they're saying.
Yeah, at the moment, like what it is now is 90 days, but even the Prime Minister came out and said it could go on for 6 months, or even longer. So
6 months.
So I assume they'll reassess it. They'll reassess it at 90 days, and then probably extend it. We were talking about the segue into the next topic.
Yes.
So we'll stop. I mean, that was all about coronavirus. So thank you all for this discussion there on coronavirus.